So this is the iPhone 17 Pro Max, and this is the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max. And at first glance, it would be very easy to dismiss this as just another Chinese iPhone clone, because it kinda is, and that's kind of how it first hit my radar. Xiaomi has been making their flagships very friendly to iPhone users for years now, and this one's no exception. It's an extremely similar shape. It has the same flat sides, the speakers and the antenna lines, and just the general aesthetic look familiar. Like this one's camera plateau is very reminiscent of the new iPhones. And it doesn't end there. The software experience Hey, welcome to Honesty Wireless, world's most honest salesman here. How can I help you look familiar? You're the guy who bought the iPhone 16e, aren't you? Yep, that was me. Told you not to do it. You did, you sure did, yeah. So what brings you back? Need more perfectly honest advice? Well, I actually have good news and bad news. So bad news is I broke the 16e. I sat on it. It's a goner, don't worry about it. Because the good news is I won the lottery. Oh my God. Yeah, pretty sick. Now keep it on the DL, I'm not telling anybody, but I'm telling you because I can now buy whatever phone I want. Money, no object. Oh, okay, yeah, great. Money, no object. Yeah, it's happening. I'm the dream customer for you right now. I will literally buy whatever phone you tell me to. Just, I want one of the iPhones, so what's it gonna be? Okay, wow, yeah, so you should order an iPhone 17, not the 17 Pro? Nope, just 17. So not the Pro. Not the Pro. No, I don't think you're understanding. I can spend all the money. I'll do whatever. Like, I just want the best one for me. I hear that, but you want the best purchase, and you still like high refresh rate, and you still want MagSafe. Yeah. And you're coming from a 16E. Yeah, all true, but you don't want people to know you won the lottery. Also true. Okay, so I mean, you could spend $2,000 on a brand new 2TB 17 Pro Max in orange, but you could also just buy the 17 and use it the exact same way that you were going to. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough, yeah. Checkout's right over here. There's this funny thing that happens when the cheapest phone in a lineup of phones is a really good deal. It makes all of the more expensive versions feel like worse deals. Because they are. And this is the best base iPhone since they added the Pro to the lineup, and I don't think it's particularly close. Now, any smart company selling both a premium phone and a cheaper phone will do everything in their power to keep them as not overlapping as possible, which means there's always been one or two major features that the Pro has that it feels like the non-Pros would never get. But this year, they just went ahead and added all the stuff we thought they should. And they didn't half-ass that stuff either. So first and foremost, they finally gave it a top-tier display. It's brighter, up to 3,000 nits, it looks great outdoors, and most importantly, it finally has a variable refresh rate, up to 120 Hz, which I love, and down to 1 Hz minimum for efficiency. So not only can we finally say goodbye to the $800 60 Hz iPhone, but it also now enables things like the always-on display, if you're into that. And it's also added PWM dimming. It may be buried in the accessibility settings, but that's a welcome addition too. So this is a super responsive, very bright, high quality display with really thin bezels. Dare I say, a flagship quality display, finally. This screen is also protected by the new Ceramic Shield too, but then buried in this display, up in this little cutout that hasn't changed in size, is something genuinely new and interesting to the point where I think basically everyone else should copy it. It's the new selfie camera. Apple is calling it Center Stage, which I guess makes sense, but also the rest of their Center Stage cameras kind of suck, so I kind of wish they didn't use that. But either way, essentially, Apple's using a huge new 24 megapixel square selfie camera. So when you go to take a selfie, you can take either an 18 megapixel horizontal crop or an 18 megapixel vertical crop. And it makes so much sense. Like, you go in to take a normal vertical selfie and it looks exactly the way you expect it to. But if a bunch of other people enter the frame and it becomes clear you're taking a group selfie, it automatically switches to a horizontal selfie without you having to rotate the phone at all. You can obviously do this manually if you want to, but that's already awesome. And the actual quality of the selfies are also top notch. I think noticeably better than even the best from last year's 16 Pro. Another nice benefit though is selfie videos. Since there's way more sensor around the outside of the frame you're using, it can use that extra information for way better stabilization. And so even without any sort of action mode or special settings being turned on, the walk and talk video